Oh, fun. I just had my breakfast plate just fall over and collapse. Welcome everybody. Beat the Banks from Beacon DeFi. My name is Professor Chris. I am your steward for today. Wanted to just talk about a couple things. Today we're going to chat and farm in this market. So let's kind of look at where we're at. It's a bit crazy, right? Look at this market. Let me go 125 here. Make it easier to read. Currently, we are sitting at 103,238 for BTC, 2341 for Ethereum. Sol, my love, 172. Man, look at this movement. If we look at the bubbles, clearly there's a lot of euphoria forming, not just on the week, because ETH is up almost 30% with the Petra upgrade, but we're looking on the day. It's up 13.5%, which is just frankly quite nuts. The question that I have for all of you, if you've been following us for a while, is please tell me you've been taking the time over the last, let's call it 3 months, to start accumulating all of the altcoins and all of the beta plays that you really care about with high conviction. Things like Sol, things like Hype, even something like Stellar Lumens, Uni, Aave. Where's Aave? Aave. ENA, OP. A lot of coins that are just up on the way up, like AVEX and 9.5. Pleased to see Virtual up another 9%. That's kind of wow. We're really seeing some people bid for some things. There's a lot of talk that BTC could be on its next leg up all the way to 150K and higher. You know, there's some places calling for 200K Bitcoin by the end of the year. So, you know, we're here at 103. Obviously, it's not let's say you got in today at Bitcoin at 103. If it went to 200 by the end of the year, obviously we're looking at, you know, 2x, right? But and that's fine if you're a long-term holder of Bitcoin. That makes your bag so much more valuable. But it's all of these other coins, these little altcoins, these when I say altcoins, I mean blockchain ecosystem coins, protocol coins that have been around, have great revenue. A lot of it's really DeFi summer if you think about it. We're going to see a lot more teams shipping some really good things, and I'm really excited about that. Before I started with my screen, I did want to mention, so EIP 7702 is now live. If you're using Rabby, that's a supported wallet. If you're using MetaMask, I believe it's also a supported wallet. Basically, it's making it a lot easier for you to approve transactions, right? You're trusting the wallet provider more. You've always been trusting the wallet provider. So when people are like, well, I have to trust my wallet provider, you already have been if you're using a wallet like Rabby or MetaMask. That hasn't changed. But I will tell you, this is where having a hardware wallet, which is something we push from day one with all of our members in our communities, whether you're in the mastermind, you're in our Beacon Challenge, so we just started, or you're in our Beacon Accelerator. Get a hardware wallet is step number one. Why? Because of things like this. Because you want to have good security. And while this doesn't stop people, especially, you know, if someone gets your seed phrase, you're cooked anyway. But if you happen to have a secondary factor that stops bad actors from moving forward, they'll just give up and move on. Why? Because bad actors prey on two types of people: the unprepared and the uneducated. Don't be any of those two. That also leads me to my next segue. Come join us here at our group at Total Value Locked. It's absolutely free to join. Feel free to do so. School.com/beacon right there with my face. That is the spot. It's absolutely free to join. Join the hundreds, thousands of people who have joined to learn more about decentralized finance and blockchain-based investing. So if you hold crypto and you are not sure exactly what to do with it, come join our group. In fact, if you haven't, our first challenge workshop starts tomorrow. I'm not sure when our next one's going to be quite honest. So if you want to get in on the challenge, today's the day, guys. Today is the day. Cover my face. Yes. Take beacondefi.io/challenge. Take the challenge on your first dollar in DeFi within 48 hours. That's, of course, as long as Coinbase is not holding your funds, which unfortunately they sometimes do. Anyway, take the challenge. Otherwise, come to our free group, click on the Start Here post. See this lovely message from myself and our co-founder, Andrew. You learn more about what we provide. Education. We're an education company at Beacon DeFi. We are all about onboarding people into decentralized finance and blockchain-based investing safely and securely. We have done so for tens of thousands of people since 2021. Be one of the many people who are learning a skill that will take them all the way through life, especially as we run into a more digital future with digital assets. Check us out. As I said, absolutely free to join us here at Total Value Locked. So yeah, in a market like this, what are the things that we look to do? Well, I'm going to talk about one specific thing that I think is pretty key, because a lot of people are like, well, I'm just going to wait till my assets come back. Your assets are back. Are you taking action? I don't know. Even if you're not, guys, you have to be earning yield. Yeah, it's great to hold coins, but if you're just holding coins, you're just waiting for the price appreciation. What if you can do more? And when I talk about doing more, I'm talking about going to a spot like an app I really enjoy, which is Euler. Euler.finance, available on multiple chains. We're going to look here at the this Phantom Sonic side of it. So what we're looking at here is the idea of supplying stable coins for yield. Now, there are some other options here. If you have Wrapped S token, S is the token of Phantom Sonic. You can supply here for 18.42%. You're also going to earn our oil coin as well as Phantom Sonic points for doing so. Phantom Sonic's great, of course, but I think right now, I mean, Avalanche is just killing it with Euler. Look at this, guys, 33%. Well, didn't see that one coming today, but there's high utilization. The best way for me to explain this concept today. So this is what we call supplying assets for yield. It's staking, right? The reason why you would be interested in something like this is in the event that you didn't really know what to do with your money. You didn't want to just hold it in your wallet. For a lot of people, they can go to a spot. Let me just pull up Aave. That's the easiest place to go. And let me go to, let's just go to Avalanche. Let's check out Avalanche. That's not a good example. Let's go to Arbitrum. Arbitrum's a better example. So the reason why and Aave was the first protocol I ever used back in 2019. Why? Because it reminded me of my bank. And that's a good thing. When you're a new investor in this space, you're always looking for something that you can relate to, something that makes sense, especially if you're in something new and you're not really sure about exactly what's going on. You just know that people are earning yield with digital assets. I can tell you right now, 3.52 is a fantastic rate to earn on a stablecoin. A stablecoin is a digital asset whose value is pegged to $1 or any other world fiat currency. Most people these days are after USDC, since the US dollar is the world reserve currency. So to be able to come in and just stake your stablecoin, in this case USDC, for 3.53% with very little lift, that is better than your bank will ever do for you. I mean, I think my credit union gives me like 0.025%. When I was with a big bank with red letters and gold letters that rhymes with Bell's Margot. I got way worse than that. Like, I have like thousands of dollars in my account and I receive like a penny once a month, right? This is way better than that at 3%. Imagine if you're at Euler and you're an Avalanche, and then you see the same thing for USDC and you're in 12.66%. That's an amazing yield. The even better part about that, and I believe this is with, it's with the lending APY is just 10% because of, it looks like there's high utilization. That's why. It's also an auto compounding position. There's something to be said for the magic of auto compounding interest, or just compound interest rather. You can easily earn a lot of money very quickly when you compound daily, right? The one thing about DeFi is that the majority of protocols, they compound daily, 3 to 4 times a day in some cases. But in general, if you go to, the website like our friends at Beefy, they compound every day. So the idea of compounding daily, just kind of put the math in your mind and how well that works. And where you would be if you had $1,000 in like a year, where would you be if you're compounding daily at 12.99%? Now, this rate's not always going to be 12.99%. The reason why it's so high is because the utilization rate is at 91%. To better illustrate this, I'm going to go ahead and go to another protocol that we've been talking about 18 months now, I think, Extra Finance. This is on the Base blockchain. And they have lending. They also have leveraged farming. And that's really where your funds are going to, because they do have leveraged farms where you can do 2x, 3x long, pseudo delta neutral farming, short farming, that type of thing. So let me just click the APY here. Wow, VVV up to 244. Now, the reason why this rate is so high is because, as you can see, and this is the same for Euler as well, it's based on an algorithm based on demand, meaning there is 67 million of US. Wow. There's 67 million USDC on Euler. I'm assuming this is on Avalanche. May not be. It could be shared between multiple blockchains. I'll have to double check on that. And 91% of it is being utilized, meaning someone has borrowed some of the supply for farming elsewhere, whatever that may be. They could be staking it back here and continuing to do what's called a looping strategy. Although I don't know if the rate for borrowing is any good. Let's look. USDC it's 6.98%. If the supply is 12%, you're getting paid 12%, and then you borrow at 6.98%. You can then do a looping strategy where you could, this is a 10x strategy where you can get 92% on your lent LTV. Oh, the debt asset is DEUSD. That's why. Okay. Interesting. That's outside the scope of this talk. Otherwise, looping is a fairly intermediate to advanced topic, so I'm not going to bore you specifically with that. But anyway, and that would be why the utilization on these is so high, because there are a lot of people using these services specifically to earn yield. Now, back to the, it's better when I do it this way at Extra, because they have this interest rate model. So as you can see, let me just start with, let's just use VVV. VVV is the coin of Venice.ai, decentralized AI project that's built on the Base blockchain. Shout out to Eric Voorhees. Really cool guy. Really love what he has to say. And this is what Venice is providing. If you look at the earning API, again, this is just for supplying, right? So right now, Virtual, which is the great AI coin, it's currently at 9% for if you stake your Virtual here. As you can see, as I move this up, once you get past 80%, you get into this acceleration zone where the rate of utilization makes the supply or earn APY much higher. And the reason for that is because you're in a situation where there's a lot of tighter liquidity here, and there's more demand. This little bend And what, see this little bend right here? This is what's called the kink. And the kink rate is all based on how close you are to 100% utilization. The higher up you are past the kink, the higher the earn APY is. And here's something interesting. Again, this is an auto compounding position. So if you have VVV, you purchase some, you stake it here, you're earning that much and auto compounding on what you have there. For example, I do have virtual on another account in here, and I want to say I've already gained 6 or 7 virtual in the last couple months. I mean, it's roughly 10%. So I had to do the math in my head, just rounding it up to about roughly been between 9 and 10%. So happy with that return. I'm not going to get that at a bank. And what's great about being in Web3 and what we call Web3, which is blockchain and all these blockchain adjacent technologies, is that you are your own bank, meaning you hold your assets. You are responsible for your assets. When you come over to a place like this and you're going to be borrowing, like we've mentioned on a previous call, you're your own bank. You don't need to talk to a loan officer. You don't need to apply for credit. They're not going to worry about you having, 6 months of income with bank statements and all that stuff. If you have collateral, you can take a loan out on it. Simple as that. Up to a specific loan to value. I think it's 80% at the majority of these 4 stablecoins. Could be 90 depending on the protocol. But imagine being able to borrow up to 90% of what you have in the bank as a loan to go out and farm. Create positions where you're basically going to be outpacing how much your borrow rate, which was I think was 6% on USDC on what we saw in Euler. Yeah. So as long as you're outpacing 6%, you're profiting off of your farming already. So that's something to consider. But yeah. So if people ask, what are you doing with your money? I'm looking for opportunities like this. The other place that is good to go to is a place, like I said, with our friends at Beefy. Concentrated liquidity is a really good spot to profit off of other investors. Because as investors are sitting here on centralized exchanges, just holding coins, those who are trading, we can actually profit off what they're doing, specifically on chains like Hyperliquid, on Solana, on Ethereum, and all of the EVMs that are beneath it, especially if they have a perpetual DEX, where you have quote unquote DeFi based options. This is the only perps are native to DeFi. You're not going to find them in traditional finance. You're not going to find them in stocks, bonds, or equities. It's a really cool idea. It's basically an option for an asset in DeFi that never expires. There are ways, of course, that you do have to pay for that. You have funding rates. You have to pay depending on based on what open interest is, that type of thing. Not going to go into that on this call either. But while people are holding, you can be one of those people who are going out and continuing to earn yield. If you have BTC, there's a lot of movement right now in the BTC ecosystem for new ways to work with your Bitcoin without spending it to earn yield. And that's the key, right? I'll be in Vegas for Bitcoin 2025. If anybody's going there, let me know. We'd love to meet up with you. You can have coffee, have a meal, whatever. You can walk around with me as I get my steps in. You can walk the floor with me if you want. That'd be great. Because I love talking and meeting new people and really just spreading the word about Beacon and DeFi education. But my favorite Bitcoin right now, there's 2. One is Stacks, it's a layer 2, but the other one is Babylon. Oh, I need to figure out if this is Babylon.io. Nope. Look at me. So we'll do this the right way. DeFiLlama.com. Babylon. Website. There you go, BabylonLabs.io. In my opinion, right now, this is the best place to go. Have they raised the cap? They have. Okay, so there's already almost 50,000 Bitcoin or $5.16 billion staked in Babylon. Babylon is basically a proof of work security protocol. If you have Babylon, if you have Bitcoin that you want to stake at a Babylon provider, you will earn yield for doing so because they offer Bitcoin security to layer twos across multiple ecosystems that don't want regular proof of stake security. They would prefer to have proof of work security. And there are multiple groups that are actually purchasing this from Babylon in the form of EigenLayer AVSs and some other things. But in terms of the staking interface, right now the staking APR is roughly about 1.05%. Not bad. It has been higher. And there are 60 active providers where you can go and stake your BTC. There are other ways too. If you go to Stacks, let's go the right way. Go Stacking Now website. And you can earn yield for that. You just have to set up. And I'm not going to really talk about how because it's outside the point of this call. But there are multiple ways that a lot of our users are earning money. Even better, if you have a Coinbase account, you actually can do two things. From the Coinbase level, you can take out a loan. It uses Morpho in the background and a couple other places. At the CEX level, something we don't necessarily push because we prefer DeFi, where you have control of your funds and have custody over them at all times. But you can actually, because if you take your Bitcoin and you actually want to withdraw it to bring it down into Base blockchain to use, it'll automatically convert it into a derivative called CBBTC. It's a 1-to-1 derivative between your Bitcoin that's native on Coinbase and the ERC20 or Ethereum-based version called CBBTC. And if we just let's go to Aerodrome, which is the largest DEX on Base. If we just do a quick search for staking pools or liquidity pools, as you can see, we have multiple pools here that have very impressive rates with lots of volume, because volume is, again, what predicates the yield in this case. You'll have to purchase the Arrow token, stake it for 4 years, and vote in one of these pools to receive incentives, as well as 100% of all fees in the concentrated liquidity pool. They go to those voters first. As you can see, we have multiple pools where the APR is ridiculous. Wouldn't touch that one personally, but some of these like ETH and CBBTC, ETH and regardless of the price of Bitcoin and ETH, they travel fairly well together, meaning that there's minimal and permanent loss. Are they perfect? No, but they're not bad. They've started to not be as correlated, but still, if I were to do, this is an interesting derivative here of Super Origin ETH, but ETH and CBBTC, 2,300%. 278 million. This is concentrated liquidity. So again, 4-year Arrow staker, vote for the ETH CBBTC pool. You will earn 100% of all fees. I believe this is daily, or it might be per epoch, which is every week, is what the fees are that are being divided amongst all the stakers. And this is a specific flywheel that they have built in here. Most people don't leave, not because of the 4-year lock. You'll make that back fairly quickly. You'll definitely make it back within 4 years. Your investment in staking Arrow for 4 years, because you'll have both token appreciation plus all the incentives and fees that are coming back to you. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, if you're looking for, people are asking the question, what are the rates like? There you go. Now, to get here, it takes a little bit of work, right? You have to purchase the Arrow token. You have to lock it for 4 years. Vote for this pool. But yeah, once you do that and you're locked in, you'll get extra incentives. There's a full secondary economy for voters, right? So if I'm going to vote for that pool, that's CBBTC. It's this one. It's got a voting. So we have a regular APR out there with that crazy rate. but just for voting, you get 26%. Plus, you get incentives that come through. Obviously, this is very low, but yeah, it's interesting. Plus, they now have automated liquidity management, meaning you can literally put it into an automated liquidity manager after you lock it in and just monitor every now and then. The liquidity manager will actually keep it within range and rebalance it if needed, so you don't have to do any specific actions. You just pop it in and literally just monitor it every once in a while. Make sure it's good. The ALM will take care of that. Obviously, there are some risks for that type of thing. Like if the ALM provider, it's a third-party ALM provider, happens to go away, what we call counterparty risk. That is certainly something that you have to worry about. You are layering smart contract risk on top of each other. These are just things you have to think about. But if you are willing to take on this journey of self-custody on your own, there is a universe of tons of great yield out there that you can get on your coins. But what a lot of people will still do, they will just come down. Let's go to base with their CBBTC. And they will just stake it for 2.25%. It looks like you're getting some these turtles. Yeah. If you're a turtle.club member, talk to my friend Luis, who's part of Turtle. See if we can work something out. That'd be cool. But yeah, so you just supply here, and then you would borrow USDC. What would that be? Or you borrow, yeah, I borrow USDC in that case. Borrow APY. The borrower APY is 0.14%. All right. There is some shenanigans to be done here. I like that rate. Now they do have the ability to go into some leverage here. Looks like with 4.53 max mult for with 80% LTV. So, all right. Shout out to our friends at Euler. Excited for this stuff for you guys. They are just exploding. Love to see it. 1.64 billion supplied, by the way. So you're not the only one who thinks this is pretty cool. Coming in here to just pop in here again with CBBTC. This is an auto compounding position to earn 2.29% on yours, and then you would borrow another asset to then go into something like Aerodrome, where you can go to Beefy and pop that into a pool, have a position ready in less than 3 minutes. So yeah, this is exciting. There's a lot you can do, and really that's the whole thing, right? About a market like this, there's going to be a lot of volatility. So being able to farm in the face of that volatility with multiple positions, whether it be at somewhere like just supplying at Euler, or going and doing some leverage farming on something like Extra Finance, taking your BTC and taking it to Babylon Labs, to somewhere like Solve, Corn, Lombard, Lorenzo, Pump, all those types of BTC derivative partners at Babylon. There's a lot of ways to earn yield that's far going to outweigh what you have in traditional finance. I mean, just think about the rates that you're seeing at with U.S. debt, with T-bills and bonds and stuff like that. This far outweighs that. Yes, there's some additional risk, but you have self-custody and you have the ability to choose your own financial future here. So the majority of people that are coming through and continuing to earn an absurd amount of yield, it's pretty crazy. So, oops, didn't mean to put that one up there. But yes, with EIP 7702, I want to make sure everybody knows to go, and really the main thing with the wallet is if you have a supported wallet, you can now do multiple things, or an application can do multiple things with your account. You have the ability to have some smart contract functionality. The biggest, I wouldn't say it's a pain point, it's just kind of the way it always has been. If you're going to be working in the Ethereum virtual in the EVM ecosystem, if you're on an Ethereum-based chain, when you go in and want to put in a position, there's a two-step process, right? Because it's trustless and permissionless, you have to first have one specific transaction, which you will pay gas for, of course, to approve the protocol, the ability to spend your funds, that you're granting them permission up to a specific amount. Then, once you get that done, then you come back in and you confirm with whatever your position liquidity is going to be. If you're just going to be, putting in $100 into an LP, between two assets. The difference is that now that 7702 is passed, this can now be done in one transaction. So now, and for anyone who goes to Solana, you're like, well, hey, we've been doing that in Solana for years. Yes, you have. This actually is more of a user experience upgrade more than anything. So for, EVM teams like Euler, EVM teams like Uniswap, we're trying to build a moat, a full ecosystem where you can do everything within that ecosystem. It's really, it's actually a really important upgrade because it takes away that first transaction. Now everything can be done in one transaction. Does that mean that you can have what's called a one-click drain? Yes, that has been possible on Solana as well. On any other blockchain, like Cosmos IBC, also a one-click chain. You have to be very careful about what you sign. That's why using a hardware wallet is important, because they're going to make you pull out the hardware wallet, connect it to your computer, and then press buttons to verify that transaction. That is very key in a world of bad actors. Now, with that said, the amount of functionality that an EOA or your regular externally owned address has for approving transactions is actually quite small. There's only a certain amount of operations that can be done with your wallet address, and it's on a whitelist maintained by the Ethereum Foundation. So you just can't have rogue people coming in and draining. Now, if you click a bad link and you just do a regular operation that just drains your funds, outside the scope of this, but that's just something that's just going to happen regardless. So having good wallet security, making sure you have good separation, this is all key moving forward now that EIP 7702 is approved. So in terms of what we recommend, Ledger is back to being the one we recommend, mainly because it has access to the most ecosystems. You can also get a Trezor. Let me go to Trezor's website. And you can get something like the Safe 3, which is the equivalent to what the Nano S Plus is. But the difference is with the S Plus, besides my favorite colorway, which is this orange, where's the clear orange? The clear orange is nice. I mean, I like this because it's fairly translucent, but the orange translucent, it's top notch. But with the Trezor, it is only good for Ethereum virtual machine. Now, it says Bitcoin. Yes, you can do that, but Bitcoin doesn't really have DeFi at this moment to the degree that EVM certainly does. It supports Solana, but you can't plug this in on a Solana protocol to do DeFi. There's an exception to that rule. I know that. But overall, you just can't go to any Solana site and do that. Whereas with Ledger, you can. You can do Ledger in EVM, you can do Ledger in Cosmos, you can do Ledger in multiple other alternative ecosystems that have their own wallets, like Starknet and some of these others. And even in something like BitTensor. The Ledger just has more flexibility. Well, also with stacks like BTC-Fi. These are all things that Ledger does support. So that's really the main reason why it's the recommendation for us, is that if you want to go out and experience other ecosystems, Ledger is going to be the best spot for you to go to. So yeah, that's the thing. Get a hardware wallet. Again, it's this is in Swiss francs for some reason, but if you can, I would recommend, if you buy it, of course, it's always good to get it from the from the manufacturer. That way you never get a used one, never get a renewed one, never get a secondhand one, because you don't know what's been done to that device. You can get brand new ones from other big box stores like Ledger and Trezor, both available on Amazon. Also with Walmart, I believe they also do it. And the reason why you would want to do that is if you want to get it sooner. right? If you have Amazon Prime, you can get a Ledger Nano S Plus tomorrow or same day. If you go to Ledger Nano S Plus, available at Best Buy, not in any colors but black, unfortunately. But if that's not something that you care about, you can go today to a Best Buy and pick one of these up. And fairly simple to set up. It is what we call air gapped, meaning that you don't have to be connected to the internet to set one up and get started with it. And there's some new things in there like Ledger Live, which is the software you use to update the firmware. Also has links if you have a Coinbase account, you can link that up. Has the ability to buy tokens through using Coinbase Market. And now they have through Kiln Finance. We talked about this 2 weeks ago on the TVL show, which is our Wednesday podcast. You can stake for yield. It's just stable coins. I mean, it's fine. I don't know a ton of people who keep stable coins in a hardware wallet, to be quite honest. In my opinion, stable coins are meant to be out there being used to farm. That's just my personal opinion. And of course, none of this is financial advice. Do your own research. So yes, that's all I really had today. If you have a comment or question, feel free to reach out. I am on YouTube. So if you have a YouTube comment, you're watching me live, feel free to do that. If you have Twitter, feel free to do the same. I'll even open up Twitter right now just to make sure that I can answer questions. Huh. And there's always news about crypto in the news now, mainstream news. That's the thing we want to see. Arizona and New Hampshire, 2 states in the union now in the United States that now have strategic Bitcoin reserves. 2 different approaches. New Hampshire's is up to 5% of state funds after 60 days of the bill being signed into law. So Arizona is right away, but they're using it as a way to convert profits from unclaimed property, as well as staking and airdrop, things that go unclaimed for people. I don't know how they're going to do that, but still, it was approved by Governor Katie Hobbs because it was budget neutral, right? She did the original bill that she vetoed had up to 10% of Arizonan retirement funds and other cash equivalents to go into purchasing Bitcoin, which she felt was a little bit too high of an exposure rate, which I guess I can understand, but clearly she doesn't feel the same way about Bitcoin that we do. So, but at least they've got some bills coming. Texas, I think, should be up next. You can check out the Satoshi Action Fund from Dennis Porter. He has a link to all of that stuff in terms of legislation and where it's at with multiple states that you may want to consider looking at. Let's pull up the site here so you have it. Yeah, satoshiaction.io. So yeah. 6 bills passed into law. Look at that. And he's doing the heavy legwork, or his team is, by going out and talking to people about it's a nonprofit. Okay. Good to know. I was out here doing something in Twitter. Anyway, got about 15 minutes. Let's do something here. What do we got? A lot of small positions, as you know. This is our course wallet, so we can go through and set something up. Now, I will go to Beefy. Beefy's easy. And that's beefy.com, beefy.finance, whichever way you want to go. Just click on Launch App. Why not? Let's get into this Brazilian real. This is a stable coin pool, by the way. I have my filters on. So I'm stable coins, and then current APY, I am clicking the down arrow to get to sort by highest first. Let's see. Now, as you can see, there's two versions of this. There's a CLM pool and the CLM vault. The CLM vault will be the one that actually auto compounds all the rewards and all that in there. So all you have is LP position, which is fine with me. We'll go with that. Do I have any money on base? Not really. Well, let's take care of that. All right, we'll do a little cross-chain swappy. We'll use our friends at Jumper. Shout out to everyone at Jumper. I met your team at Denver. All right, so I need to go from Arbitrum. I have some small. I'm going to base. And let's just go with regular ETH. Looks like they don't recognize that. The small that because I was looking at this. I want to use some of this small. We'll swap that out. I don't think small is going anywhere anymore. No disrespect to the guys at Treasure Chain or the monkeys. So we'll do two things. We'll swap first. So the swap we always recommend, because it's the best of the best, is DeFi Llama. So we'll go to, I already have it bookmarked. As you find good sites, you always should bookmark them. You just click up here in your Brave browser to do that. Choose the chain we're on. We're on Arbitrum right now because that's where my coin is that I want to swap, which is small. And what I'll do is grab the contract address, copy. We'll add the token. We're going back to ETH. Let's go USDC. I'm not losing a ton. Go max. Then we have to choose an aggregator. Let's choose our friends at Odos. Need to change my slippage to 1% so I don't get smashed. And it looks like I'm getting a better rate if I go through Odos still. Excellent. Our prove, again, we have to upgrade our account. We have not done so yet with 7702. You can't see my screen. I'm going to choose my gas account to do my approval here. And this is going to change pretty quickly because arbitrage bots will go through and make this pretty much very similar. Now we're confirming. Unfortunately, you can't see my screen with the wallet, but now we've done our approval step. We'll go through with our swap. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can do this a little bit better. Me. Bear with me, guys. I apologize about the dead air. I'm just moving my screens around. Didn't mean to do that. So that you can actually see everything that I'm doing, because you know that's key, right? You want to see what I'm actually doing, right? Ay ay ay. Swear. This is gonna be the death of me with Mac OS. Share screen. Entire screen. There we go. Hey. There we go. All right. So this is our simulation. Just as a heads up, this is the beautiful thing about Rabby. They give you a full thing on what's being done here. Again, we'll do a couple things just to make sure we're good. We're interacting with this contract. It is whitelisted to Odos, which is fine. Want to make sure that it is, oh yeah, deployed 666 days ago. That means it's not brand new. It's fine. That's what we want. We're going to pay with our gas account, which allows us to pay with stable coins. It's going to be 1 penny, just under 2 cents for this to swap. We'll sign and confirm. Normal gas, because we're never in a hurry. You don't want. All right, now that's done, we'll go back to Jumper. So you can see I have a lot of things here. All right, so we have our USDC coin. Now we're gonna go to base. You know, let's just use USDC. There we go. And we'll do 25. Again, this was called a cross-chain bridge or cross-chain swap, and it's using multiple routes. It's aggregating to find the best way we can get there. Looks like this is the best return. This is a cross. This is what Uniswap uses. So we'll get just under 20, just about $25 in 2 seconds. We'll take that. We'll review the bridge, start bridging. And then we have to approve the token. We always want to make sure that it's for the exact amount. Thank you, Jumper, for doing the right thing and not forcing that unlimited bullcrap on us. I want to make sure we're approving to the right one. It is protocol whitelisted to Li-Fi 165. This is the signed type data. This is the human readable data. I'm going to sign and confirm again. With the EIP 7702 upgrade, this will all be one transaction. We want to make sure we know what we're signing. So here is our actual transaction simulation results. We're going to be sending $25 across to Base blockchain from regular USDC to USDC on Base. Again, we've already done the contract. We can look again just to make sure. 165 days, good. It's not last week. That's good. And then we'll use our gas account. So we're paying on normal speed with stablecoins. We'll sign, we'll confirm, and the bridge is on its way. I did say 2 seconds, so it should be there. What we'll do is we'll go back to Beefy. And here we are in our Brazilian real vault. This is a digital, the digital dollar version of the Brazilian real, based on the, I guess based on whoever is the custodian of this. It's native to Base though. Base is looking to bring the $7 trillion Forex market on chain on the layer 2 Base. So, yeah, brztoken.io. We can look at that while we wait for our bridge to come over, because I'm curious now. I haven't been to this website. Whenever you're ready to come up there, buddy. Or not. Whatever. All right, so let's refresh the page. Our $25 should be here now, because it did say 2 seconds. Now, it doesn't matter if we had USDC or BRZ or not. Generally, the old school way, we would need 50% of each, or at least a specific ratio. Now, as you can see, our USDC has arrived. I can just pop that in there. And again, the reason why I'm doing $25 is really for the only idea that if you're watching this, guys, this is something that is accessible to you. You can get a $20 position rolling. The whole point is not sitting here on your thumbs waiting for the market to turn around. Get in here and start farming yield now. Because let's say it doesn't come back for 6 months, or it doesn't get to where you think it's going to be until 6 months. You could have spent that entire time farming yield. I know people who have paid for weddings, who pay their taxes through farming stablecoins. So don't be turned off by the fact that the rate is like anywhere between 3 and 23%, because that's way better than what you're getting in your bank. And that's real profit, guys, right? So 2 things we need to do here. As you can see, now that I did 100%, it gives us an idea of what's going to happen. It tells us what this is called zapping in, by the way. This cute little click a button win a house deal that we're talking about. It's going to go ahead and do all this in the background for us, create the position. And this is a CLM pool, which means it is a concentrated liquidity managed pool, meaning you don't have to worry about babysitting the range on this. It'll take care of it for you. And all you have to do is just monitor and just make sure it's not going absolutely the wrong way. All we have to do is click on Connect Wallet. We are using our Rabby wallet for this. Connected. And then all we do is click on Deposit. And we have our 2 transactions. Again, with the new updates, it'll be for 1 transaction. Now, as you can see here, this is they want unlimited approval. We don't want that. We just want exactly what we're putting, which is $24. We'll click that. That now sets that to $24.99, meaning the protocol cannot spend any more than what we have approved for. We'll go ahead and approve here. Make sure it's weird. It's not actually showing Beefy's logo there, but it is 519 days old. We have interacted before because I have done this multiple times on this wallet. And then we'll go ahead and choose normal speed because we don't need anything super fast and pay for extra gas. And we're going fractions of a penny to approve. Sign, confirm. And what's great about this is I started this roughly about 10 minutes ago, about 12 minutes ago, in terms of figuring out what I wanted to do here. And I'm in a position in less than 12 minutes. This position will be ready in less than 3 minutes, to be quite honest. So there we go. There's our Beefy Protocol logo. Cool. Now we're good. We're taking what we're doing is we're taking our USDC, putting in this Moo Beefy specific pool with some ETH for some interesting reason, but it's going into this to get these Moo Beefy tokens, which represent our USDC BRZ liquidity pool. And we'll choose our gas account so we can pay with stablecoins. So paying with ETH because that's the gas token for base. Normal, sign, confirm. And in 12 minutes, I've taken a position based on assets that I had on the Arbitrum blockchain. It's now on base in this stablecoin pool of USDC and the Brazilian Real, BRZ. Did that actually come up? There we go. Transfero is the name of the protocol that's doing this. So there we go. Now I can come back, go into vaults. There's 2 ways. You can check on my positions. And as you can see, we have our deposited tokens here. It's very early, so don't have a lot to really go on in terms of P&L. That will show up. You can also go to dashboard. Dashboard will tell you exactly how much you have deposited, how many vaults, accrued yield, estimated daily yield. These are important things, right? Because I had thousands of dollars in my Bell's Margo account, and I was earning a penny, less than a penny every month. I've already, off of $145, I'm earning 15 cents daily. Again, back of the napkin math, guys. Figure it out in terms of just how much more you can make, and especially in auto compounding positions like they are here at Beefy. So you can see I have multiple here. Nothing here yet with the, oh, this is retired. I need to get this out of here. Damn. Cool. Cool. We'll do that now. We have 1 minute. So let's just check out this pool. So you can click on that. This vault is retired. The TVL has fallen too low. This happens. Generally with Beefy, if they get the idea just from looking at analytics that that there isn't any emissions or rewards coming from a pool, they will retire it. So in this case, it was 18 days ago it was last harvested, so I can withdraw, and I'll go ahead and choose all of it, which is 100%. Oh, I need to choose a token. Let's go back into ETH. Why not? Because ETH is on the rise, right? $33 worth, eh? Slippage. What about USDC? How much would I get with native USDC? About the same? 33.50. Yeah, I'll go with that. Why not? I have plenty of ETH. So as you can see, this is a retired pool. Just got to get our money out just on staking really quickly. Again, withdraw all. Should be done with this in less than 2 minutes. Okay, approved token. Of course, we just want the exact amount. We'll click that. Come down, check the. I mean, obviously, this is good here. We've interacted before, so that's fine. Choose our gas account, sign, confirm. Transaction number 1 in the books to approval. And now we can actually withdraw our tokens. It'll actually do all of this swapping in the background for us with Odos to get us our USDC. All right, fine. 64 cents. I've lost 64 cents because of that. Man, it is what it is. Let's go to ETH. I guess it was about the same. That's fine. We've already done the approval for the amount that we're putting out, so we don't have to redo that step. As you can see, we are now getting ETH back, and I guess a little bit of Luna and Dust. Luna was the first ever AI agent from the Virtualist platform. You can double check here. We have interacted before. Normal, and then we're going to do a penny to withdraw and get that money back in our wallet. And just like that, guys, in 4 minutes, we've gone to a retired pool now. My goodness. Now we're good. I can come back here and verify that. Coming to base. You can see I have this ETH that's here now, $41 worth. I can go to transactions, and I can see that I had this just happen. Again, this is verifying everything that we have here. Don't trust verify. It's always important to do. And there you go. If you like what you saw, again, I just gave a shit ton of stuff for free there in terms of how to do all this. Join our free group, school.com/beacon. Absolutely free to join. Learn from the best of the business about how to get up and running. Again, start here. A lot of the stuff I talked about available here in this content. So again, if you want to take the challenge, go ahead and sign up, beacondefi.io/challenge. And that's it. Guys, have a great weekend. Go out there and get some yield. The markets are singing right now. We're in a very interesting spot in the market. Go out, get some high conviction coins. Go out, farm some yield. Go out there and just make some money, guys. And come to our community. Do it with all of us, because it's hard to do this alone. Be with a group of people that are like-minded and passionate about blockchain-based investing here in decentralized finance. And strengthen numbers, guys. Build your edge. Do it with us. Why? Because we've been here. We're thriving. We're still doing it. Well, guys, it's been fun. Hopefully you learned something. And come check out our podcast every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We have a great panel who comes on every week. And we'll talk about the news of the week, help you figure it out for your portfolio. And again, we always have this Friday community training every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, here on our platforms. So that said, take care, everybody. 07, beacons up, banks down. Take care, guys.